Hi guys, Borjo here, bringing you another instance guide for Everquest 2. Here's Veeshan, this time for Stratum of the Protectors. One of the more annoying zones to solo, but it's not overly hard. The trash is probably worse than the bosses. These packs here will dot you and fear you and throw you around, so the big thing here is always try and kill your dots off. They do percentage life. It's really sick. I'm having a bit of lag issues in this zone, I always do, so the graphics are on low, sorry about that. It's the only zone that seems to tank computers. Even in the raid, it's horrible for my raid force, but there we go. I'm playing my Necro today, something a bit different. I figured I'd play something a bit ranged, just something that kills really quickly, as the zone, it's not longer than the others, but you know, it's just easier to play on a ranged class, really. Bit of advice, fairly linear zone. You're going up, always up. Go up and clear as much of this trash as you like before you fight a boss. I'm going to clear, I think, most of this. The bosses in here aren't overly complex. If you have to execute the script, you have to execute the script. But the scripts aren't that bad, really. You can dodge most things. I mean, this first boss here will put red rings on the floor. Don't stand in the red rings. That's basically it. If you do stand in the red rings, you'll take damage. As the fight progresses, he'll put other rings down, which if you stand on it, you get caught in a trap. And then you can't do anything, which is really annoying, especially on the group zone. But if you burn him fast, he's just going to throw down a shed load of red rings all at once, which you're going to see here, which is going to happen to me because I burn him as fast as I possibly can. Somebody in Guild just quickly asked me a question, so I had to answer that. But yeah, bosses are generally quite simple. They're quite cool. This instance isn't that bad. It was one of the worst ones when it first came out in the group. With a group anyway, especially one of the bosses used to kick your ass completely unless you had certain setup or something. But yeah, I'm about to kick off. I'm just still advising my guildie. I didn't realise it actually took this long, but never mind. There we go. I couldn't type for some reason. Somebody was asking about one of the steps for a heritage, so I was just letting them know from my experience when we did it how it was. But here we go. Right, so I'm just going to blow this boss apart as quickly as possible. You're going to see red rings appear behind him to start with, and then all over the place. So here we go. Red ring city. Everywhere. All sorts of red stuff. Just don't be in it, and then kill him. Jobs are good. Right, with all these bosses, they're all gating mechanics for the final boss, which if you forget to do the gating mechanic, which I'm going to show you here, you will, I don't know what I was checking there, you're going to not be able to do them. So you have to hit these things, and if you look at the statue, it will get a weapon in its hand, and then that means you've done that one. Each boss has one of these pillars in front of him, so make sure you hit it. Many times, especially on the raid zone, we always forget to do it, and we end up having to run back down and figure out which one we forgot. Well, although you can just look at the statue, but I always forget about that sort of thing. So, more trash. You can actually skip around the mobs I've just pulled here if you stick to the left-hand wall, like really stick. But from, you know, it doesn't take long to kill them, but mercs are generally dumb, and all it takes is one wrong step, you're pulling them anyway, so you might as well just blat them, get them out of the way. You'll notice I've turned into a Bixie. That's an item I've got, but yeah, I forgot I had that item. Brilliant. Right, next boss coming up. This is actually a lot easier for a ranged class than anything else, melee really. A couple of the bosses in here like to just be rooted in place, so being ranged means they can't touch you. This is one of them. You notice there's holes on the floor. I'm going to explain those. I'm going to show you exactly what happens. Right, so this boss stays where he is there. There's holes on the floor, and the thing is, he can knock you back and pull you in and throw you down these holes. Now, if you get put in a hole, there's a ladder, but because you're in combat, you can't climb the ladder. I'm going to demonstrate that now. You can't climb the ladder, so what you need to do is kill the ad that's in the hole with you. When he dies, a jump pad will appear at his feet. You can't see it there because the graphics are low, but it will ping you out the hole. If you can't solo one of those ads, you shouldn't be in here solo anyway, because they're weak. But many times in the group instance you'll have people fall in the holes and go, oh, I don't know how to get out. Kill the snake, you can jump out. So I'm going to range him down, but be aware, he does knock back. If you're melee, I would advise the bridge on the left hand side of him, and he'll punt you against the wall, but he can also pull you in. I think he pulls me twice in this fight, so you'll see, like, Nunchal Escapers pulls you in, just reorientate yourself, so you're going to get knocked directly back of a platform if he hits you, but he died, so yeah, whatever. That's all he does. He just knocks back and pulls you in, and that's it. Don't forget the platform. Ba -ba -ba. Some more trash before we go. It's fairly small trash pulls. The before the bosses. Now, the interesting thing about this instance is there's a whole another area on the base level with like vaults and tombs and like skeletons in there. And in the old days, it was part of the daily quest to kill some of those skeletons, so you had a reason to go down there. I think they're tied to a quest as well. I'm not sure, can't remember. But there is really no reason to go on the ground floor now at all. So, well done to the dev that actually made this zone and put all that stuff down there. But nobody goes there. Right, third boss coming up. This one has some interesting mechanics. It's another one that's rooted in place. So he can't move, but he won't port you or pull you. But slowly throughout the fight, his attack range gets larger until he's going to hit you no matter where you're stood in the room. But there's these 4 coloured triangles on the floor, and being stood in one gives you a buff. Depending on which one you're in, depends what buff you get. Now, the boss himself can actually heal in this fight. The longer you take, he'll slowly heal himself, but eventually you'll get him down if you stood in the right one. I'm going to spend a while trying to figure out where the buff icon is in my window of buffs when I stand on these things, so I can actually tell you what each of them does. So at the moment I'm waiting for some of my buffs to wear off while it's standing it, and I can't see it. It's actually, if you look bottom right hand side of my screen, I've got all my buff icons down there. It's the red icon right at the top of the... Well, it's gone now. Obviously you can see it's gone, but I stand in and it appears again. So I'm looking at my stats to try and figure out what's going on in this one. This is actually a base auto attack multiplier increase, so it's not going to show on your character sheet. But I keep moving in and out, so I know it's going on, and I eventually find it. I'm just mousing through. No, that's your buff. God, no, it's a myth buff. There it is, right. So it's base auto attack multiplier of 0.5. Very nice. So if you want base auto attack multiplier, if that's where most of your damage comes from, stand in the green one. Next one, we've got yellow. Yellow is DPS by 100. Pretty small, but might help. Blue, healing received by 50%, so that's where the tank generally stands. If you're going to do this in a group 1, you stand in the blue. And my personal favourite, I know this one does, it's 50% potency, is the red. So generally, range casters, anybody big nukes, stand in the red. I'm totally oblivious there's actually an ad in front of me right now. I'm not even looking. I turn to face the boss and then pull the ad. Yeah, so GG. Again, this boss is just all about burning him, really. If you stand just in the thing that means you can do your most damage, just bang him down. I mean, even in solo, I don't think you need to be stood in the heal and receive one. Stand in whichever one is going to give you the biggest damage boost to kill this boss, and then literally just blow him up, light him up completely. I mean, I think... Oh, I did. I wasn't sure if I used Soul Burn here. I do. I don't use a bunch of my other cooldowns. In fact, in the whole instance, I don't even think I use Undead Horde, which is, you know, the biggest cooldown for a Necro, but there we go. I forget half the time. I think, oh, I'll use that later. And I never use it. Right, one boss before the final boss to go, so penultimate boss coming up. Again, more of this rubbish trash on this ramp, but not too much of it. I should have demonstrated you could get around it, but I just didn't bother. I'm pretty sure my pet would have pulled it, because he's an idiot. Or even the Merc. Despite that, I don't know. I only use Stamper because I couldn't be bothered to cure myself in this one. Obviously, all mages can cure themselves, and if you're going to solo it without a Merc, bring loads of cure pots. The Arcane is a big one. You just want to make sure you get the Arcane off yourself as fast as possible. There's also a slow cast one you want to get that off too. But yeah, I just brought Stamper to do that, and he's actually a hindrance on the final boss when I was trying to explain a mechanic and demonstrate a mechanic, which I couldn't demonstrate because Stamper decided to verdict him. But you'll see that in about 3 or 4 minutes or so. Right, last boss coming up. This one seems fairly simple from a mechanic standpoint, but it is quite annoying. On the group zone, this was the cock block. This was the boss that would stop your run instantly the second you got to him. Basically, he will summon ads. The ads will decide to massacre people, and that's it. If you burn him fast enough, you don't get ads. Even on solo, the ads can hit fairly hard, so I just wreck him, so you don't have to do anything. But if the ads come in, just kill them as fast as you can. They will decide to randomly go for your Merc. In the group zone, they will randomly one-shot Clothies. I've been one-shot so many times on my Necro on that fight, but if the tank position's right, he can try... It's really awkward as a tank. You think you've got them, and then you don't, and they run off. But yeah, kill the ads, kill the named, job's good. Dead easy. Right, so we've hit the 4th pillar, but we can still go up some more. That's because there is one final pillar, no boss, but just a final pillar behind a few more trash mobs. Joy of joys. So this is the top. You can tell the top because there's the statue's head. This is the last little trash pack up here. So Yeah, it hits me with some more dots and stuff. Thank you very much. Last pull. Oh. And there we go. So on this ledge, there's the last pillar. My advice, once you've clicked it, just jump straight off the end into the water, because what this is going to do is it's going to drop the water level and expose a door. But if you know the door's there, you can just jump off, swim down, and you can see the floor of the doorway there. Just swim through there, and you're going to be on a lift. And amazingly, the water can't come in here for some reason. Don't know why. Physics. Game physics. And then go down. Now the next question is, obviously this is a lift, so the water would have been pouring down here completely, and this whole area should be flooded, shouldn't it? Because of the water and stuff. This can't be that airtight and watertight, but yeah, there's no water down here. There's a little bit of puddle. Right, final boss, big snake. This big snake has a few mechanics. What he'll do is randomly, I say randomly, it's probably percentage based, but I just burned too quick anyway. He'll split into adds, and he'll become immune. Kill the adds, and then he comes back. I think the more you kill, the more damage he takes. I can't remember. There was something like that. The other thing he does is he does a port and a huge knockback. Now, what I'm demonstrating here is where I used to tank this. You can sort of stand against that wall there, and he can't kick you back when he does the port. The kickback is massive, and it will send you miles. So if you get caught with it, and you're not going to go and hit a wall, you are going to lose. There is another spot which I use on group zones. You can range it anyway, so if you can find the sweet range, then fine. What I'm trying to do here is I am literally not really attacking to try and demonstrate these mechanics, but they just don't happen. So there's a bunch of ads. What you do now, blow them up. He's immune. I actually fail on killing a bunch of the set of ads, but nothing bad seems to happen. It's just they reform and become him again. Tab also fails a few times. You'll see me hit some more snakes down there. But do you see those two pillars sort of in the middle of the room? Not the ones next to me, the ones in the middle of the room near the water. He will port himself down there. If you fight him here, he will port himself down there, and that's where he'll do the knockback. Now there is a safe spot up here. You'll think it's precarious, but it's not. It's safe, where you won't get the kickback. If you fight him down the bottom, where I demonstrated against the door, he'll port himself to this platform. So you've pretty much saved it. You're not going to see the kickback. I've tried so hard, but then verdict happened because Stamper is a clever rat, using air quotes, super clever, and decided to end the boss fight for me, which is very nice. I was trying to demonstrate mechanics for you, but there we go. So, instance nearly done. I think we get one more round of ads, I think, and then verdict happens. Yeah, last round of ads. Tab failed to a snake. Closest target and all that, but let's just go down there. And then verdict's going to happen, and we'll check the loot. And then I'm going to show you the spots actually before I show you the loot. Think about it. Obviously, this is post commentary. If I did it during the game, I probably would have forgot to say a bunch of things. It's a lot easier to watch it back and do it. There's the verdict. Excuse me. Good Stamper. So, as I say, what he'll do is he'll port himself down here between those two pillars, as I was just demonstrating there. The safe spot is all the way at the back of this platform. There's this square platform. This is actually a teleporter in the raid zone to the next area. But if you stand right on the back of it, like this, you'll be out of range of the knockback, and you won't get kicked into the abyss. Right, so loot for this one, I think is... oh god, I don't want to make a guess, I can't remember. Boots? Cryptic boots? I think. Yeah, cryptic boots, as well as all the other random stuff you can get. So I'll quickly demonstrate what boots I got. But if you found this video helpful, guys, as usual, I put out most of the solo guides. I'm going to try and finish up the rest soon. Like and subscribe or whatever. Enjoy your time in Everquest, and I'll see you guys next time for another guide.